Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda. I can't even speak. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, in Edmonton, Alberta, to be more specific. If you're in Canada and you're looking for a demonstrator, please give me a shout. I'm here and happy to help. Stamping A to Z is my weekly live that I do as a technique tutorial or how to, we always have new products coming out. So the very start, I went from A to Z, all the tools, all the, not stamp sets A to Z, but the tools and ways to use them, different ways to use them, hopefully that maybe aren't the usual way to use them. So just kind of giving you ideas, maybe inspiration to pull out your stuff and get crafting. I know for me, what really excites me and gets me inspired is trying to come up with new techniques or just seeing someone else do a technique and then trying to apply it to something totally different, whether it be Stampin' Up! Or non-Stampin' Up! It's actually more fun if it's somebody else doing non-Stampin' Up! Because then it's finding ways and figuring out, I think, is what I like. But anyways, if you don't like that part, I'm here to do it for you. So we have some new embossing folders, which I did last week. I showed a couple of embossing techniques. They do take a bit longer. So my third card I didn't end up showing. I'm going to show that today, as well as two more ways that you can use. But this time, instead of using different embossing folders, I'm using all the same, the Forever Plaid, which is out of the Reindeer, I always want to call it Reindeer Fun. I think the stamp set's Reindeer Fun, Reindeer Suite. It's a really cool suite. I will show you once I get you turned around. The other thing for, I guess that just started, I think it just started today because the new Paper Pumpkin subscription starts today. So if you are new to Paper Pumpkin, so this is for new subscribers, not current subscribers, you can get 40% off your first Paper Pumpkin. And if you only want to subscribe, like, you can always cancel your subscription. So you can try that one for 40% off. And if you don't like it, you can cancel. If you like it, you can cancel. It's totally up to you. So it's the October one that you would be subscribing for. And it's going to be, I'm just giving you a sneak peek. It's going to have, what we've been told is it's going to have really nice copper accents and backings. There's like a full ephemera pack, and it goes with, oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of the suite. It's the bird. I'll look it up and I'll show you once I get you turned around. It's a really nice suite. So it's supposed to coordinate with that. So if you already have that suite, you can add this to it. So whether you're a beginner crafter where you don't have anything and it has everything you need to make the crafts, or if you're an avid crafter and you want to get it really fancy and take it to the next step or change it up and create your own, it's totally doable. And the fact that it coordinates with products that are in the catalog as well makes it even more, it's just one more piece to add to that product that you can really kind of go to town and create almost anything. So let's get turned around and we'll get started. Okay, I'm gonna try not to, I'm trying a new, okay, why is it so far again? I don't understand what Facebook does. I think it's when I switch the camera. Hang on, let me try and switch. If I can get my finger in there. No, that didn't help. Darn. I was hoping it would help. Okay, let me make sure my computer is muted. I'm going to try and pull up the video. I did say I was gonna try to go live on YouTube and I just didn't have time to do it and figure it out. Here we go. Okay, this is like super zoomed out and I can't even make my camera go anymore. Maybe I can a little bit if I drop this down. I had tried this all out and I had set it up so that it was zoomed perfectly. It just had a bit of, now you're seeing all my mess. Oh well, mess it'll be. Here, let me move all my mess away here. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, and it's very crooked too. What's going on here? Let's try and straighten you out. Make you seasick at the same time. It's so far off. I don't know. And I'm trying. I have my stand in a different way so that I could actually see, because sometimes I don't see the comments on. But now that, I don't know, I haven't had troubles with comments lately, other than you guys are really quiet sometimes and don't comment. So if you're watching, I don't know, it has this weird, it's not straight up and down. It's trying to have a funky, that's a little bit better. What was I saying? Oh, if you're watching, let me know you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, welcome. Say hi even if you're watching the replay. Let me know you're watching the replay. If you like the video and you think you know someone who might like it, please click share. It's the greatest compliment you can give is to share the video. Let's grow our community. All right, so this is the Forever Plaid embossing folder. I did show it last week. It is one of our new really big embossing folders. It's a full 8.5 by 6. And so today I'm going to be making, one of the cards I'm going to make is a 5.5 by 7. Yes, the larger of the cards. And I actually, if you were watching last week, we had, so for this month, the new mini obviously got released, but Stampin' Up! Also released some new scrapbooking stuff, and some of that is 12 by 12 two-tone paper. Now the cardstock is lighter than our usual cardstock, which is kind of a bummer for card bases. There's ways to use it either way, but I got thinking, and I'm always, whenever I'm trying to make an envelope, like I usually make my envelopes for 5 by 7 because I don't make them that often, and I struggle because to use cardstock is too thick, and then sometimes the designer series paper is too busy or too doesn't go with whatever the card is that I've had if I don't have designer series paper on it. So I was thinking that this two-tone cardstock that's a little bit lighter is going to make the perfect envelope paper. So I'm excited for that. I just ordered some today, so hopefully I'll be able to show it to you maybe next week if I'm lucky. Yeah, you never know. UPS takes, and depending on when Stampin' Up! Gets it shipped out, they're usually pretty good, but you never know. I don't want to make promises I can't keep. Okay, so the plaid embossing folder comes from the Reindeer Days Sweet Collection, which can be found on page 27. I will be showing you these cute, these are like the cutest deers. I think that I'm making 2 cards with the same bundle, not sweet, and then I'm making one with the reindeer, and they have to be the 2 of my favorite things in here. You'll see the reindeer is so super cute and so super fast to make. It is not a piece like you have to put 1,000 pieces in. It is the bomb. Okay, so let's start with, I'm going to start with the big one. And So that involves using a full half of a piece of cardstock, so 8.5 by 5.5. And then I'm going to run it through. But before I run it through, I'm going to ink up this side. And the thing that you're going to see with doing this is, and I don't think this folder is the only one that's like this. It has different layers, right? So it doesn't just have like the reverse and the raised and the non-raised part. It has like different heights being 3D. So by adding ink to, you can add it to either side. Let's do that. I'm going to show you. I'm going to ink up both sides, and then you can see kind of what happens on both sides of the embossing folder. So I don't know if you can see this since I'm so zoomed out. Grr. Really have to work on that. Okay, and then, I don't know, I'll hold it up once I'm done so you can kind of see what got inked and what didn't. It's different depending which side you're looking at. Okay, I need a place to put this. Okay, let's close this. And since this is so large, I'm just gonna mist my paper just a wee bit. Although with it being inked, I probably shouldn't have because it's gonna bleed. But, and you don't want it to move once you put it down. So put it down, hold it down. Oh, I forgot to pick it up to show you the difference, but you'll see once I emboss this baby. Oh, I got a bit of ink. Let me grab the machine here. I had it all set and ready, and then I cut something at the last minute. Okay, so we've got, this is when it's good that I'm zoomed out. This folder almost goes from end to end of the plate. So you got to make sure you've got it all on the plate and that your 3D plate covers it. And then you just want to roll it through. You figured out how to comment. Yes, I can see it, Yolanda. Oh my, that's awesome. So what did you have to do? I did notice that I had, it almost seems like you have, if you're on your iPad, I'm guessing, it was weird. You have to like drag it over, and it was in a different location than it used to be because I know I was searching for it too. Okay, so this is the front. So if I open it up, you've got some thin pecan pie lines, and then you've got some white raised lines. So the brown lines are the ones that are debossed. The white lines are up, and then there's also the white kind of in between. If I flip it over, you can see that the lines that are, I guess, also debossed, which is weird because it's usually much more straightforward, are the brown. So we've got that. I'm just going to set this aside. And then what you can do, so if you're using the front side, I still don't have baby wipes. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna hold the phone. One sec. Give me a sec. I didn't even have scrap paper to roll it onto because there was still quite a bit of ink. So I just rinsed it off, wiped it. Hopefully it's dry. And then I'm going to take some bubble bath. Here, there's an arrow. Oh, I don't remember. I just kind of keep playing around until I can figure it out, till I find comment. So now I've got bubble bath, and if I use my brayer, and you got to be light, because I mean, this brayer, it's the new Stampin' Up! Brayer. It's awesome because it's quite hard and it doesn't tend to go in, but you can see it's just getting the pink on those top thicker lines. I did find if I go this way, I don't know if, I think because it's wider, my brayer did tend to leave some unwanted color, kind of like I got color there. So just be, you know, be patient and just take more, go more times over it, but lightly instead of like pushing hard all at once. Now, the one thing I did notice, and I don't know if it's because I'm not pushing hard enough, or it's just slightly different in terms of how it's raised. You get these non-colored corners. So if you're really picky and you think people will notice or it bothers you, you can take the blends and just come in and, I mean, because it's the raised part, it's quite easy and you don't have to be overly careful and it'll just kind of blend into there. This is the light, so just depending how dark you went, like there, it's darker, so I might want to use the darker. But so it's fixable, depending on how much time you want to spend. Now let's flip it over and see what happens. I think we're going to get the thin lines. We might get a bit of the white too, because it's quite raised. But let's see what happens when we, oh yeah, we're gonna get the, that's not so nice. Maybe I should have just left it brown. Okay, so if you're using the deboss side, either you're gonna get, oh, that's what I did. You're gonna see it when I do my last card, but you could also take your pad and drag it so that you do get the pink. It's not going to go on the brown, and it's going to get the lines in the pink. So you would have a pink background or whatever color. I mean, choose two colors. Just, you probably want your deboss lines to be the darker in case your ink gets on it. I obviously need to re-ink this. It's not very juicy. But so this is kind of, so you still get some white lines, right, that are debossed, but the rest of it kind of turns pink. So that's kind of cool. But we're going to be, actually, I wonder if I should use, no, I'm going to stick with, well, I'm having second thoughts here. Maybe this would be a different look. No. Yep. No. What do you guys think? This way or this way? My original card was this way. You know what? Let's just go for it. I wish this had more ink, but this to me, like, looks like a plaid shirt. It looks like a plaid shirt I own. Okay, ooh, I do want to do that. All right, so it's kind of like a worn, vintagey, not even, which is good. So if you use your blender brush, just be forewarned that it'll go into these, it'll go into all the grooves. So even though like your brown would be okay because it's darker, these white lines would not be white. So it's better to just either use a brayer or use the ink pad. So now that I have that, I'm going to cut this down because I'm going to, so I kind of waffled on this. I, 5.5, so I need 5 1/4. I'm going to cut 1/8 off either side so I can kind of get rid of the ends that maybe didn't get as well inked. And then, oh, so this is only 7, so I need 6 3/4. So right now we're at 8.5. Right? Am I thinking of that right? Yes. Okay. Oops. So right now for 8.5, and we need, that's almost, so let's take off a good 3/4 off this side. And yep, like that. Or should we try and get the brown in there maybe? Maybe. And then we need, so we need 6 3/4. That's what I said. Oh, but then I end up taking off that side. Let's take off this side. I'm thinking right, yeah, 7, yeah. Okay, hopefully that's right. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh, it's 7 by 5, not 5.5. That's why I'm like, what's going on here? This is too wide. So, oh, we're actually going to cut it down to 4 3/4. Oh my goodness, my brain really isn't working today. Okay, so we're on either side of the brown here. Okay, now we should be the correct size. So here's where I contemplated cutting it down to size, and so that I want to cut a circle out, and I didn't want to lose all my texture. But the issue is, if I were to cut it down and then I'm trying to put all this ink on, I guess if I inked up the whole thing, it wouldn't have those ends that needed trimming. So it's probably better if you cut it down to size, cut your circle out, and then run it through, because then you keep all the texture. But I found I did this the last time this way, and it did end up keeping, I was surprised at the texture that stayed. So, oh, it helps if I have the base plate, or I won't be cutting anything. Okay, I'm just gonna cut out my circle here, and I should have just ended my plate there, but let's go back this way so we don't ruin all of it, just in case we're losing the texture. So it does take away a bit of the texture, but you can't tell because of the coloring. So if you were to feel it, it's slightly less. But to look at it, you can't tell the difference. So I'm going to keep this because you could totally use this for another card. And then, so that circle was from the deckled circle dies. And then we've got these, so it's a big die set. I had to put it on 2 sheets. I'm only using the 3 reindeers here. Oops. So you've got this one, and this one. And so I used Early Espresso, Pecan Pie, and Basic White. And then let's pop these out. So you can see you've got your antlers there. And then I actually did this wrong the first time I ran it through. I did the white with this thinking that these were going to be pieces that you pieced into it, but it's not. It's actually the top layer. So whatever you want to peek out of the ears and stuff, you put on this one. And then this is the top layer where it's just kind of the outline. And then you've got your cute little deer. Isn't that so cute? So what I ended up doing was I tried to just do his chest, but I ended up kind of going too far and I did more than his chest. So I ended up doing it to the whole thing. And I just took, it's just a little bit of pecan pie. And I'm just going everywhere with it. So then it's a little less stark. And then it's super easy to glue. Isn't it super cute? Like, and so super easy. 3 pieces of paper, cut, and you can cut them all at the same time. You can even use, if you only have the small cutting machine with you. Whoop. Just don't slide it like that, although it covers the whole thing, so it's not the end of the world. I just kind of pinch it so that it lines up. And then same thing with this. Just a bit of glue. And same thing again. The nice thing with the liquid glue is you can, it's positionable, movable for a few seconds. So, you know, just get it all lined up as you want. And it even has like little tiny eyes. Isn't that cute? So we've got that. And then another cool piece to this set is this circle, and it cuts out, I mean, you could use this cutout piece and use it as a template if you wanted to add some sprigs to something. But we're going to be using this part. And you've probably figured out why I cut the circle out of my other part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in behind here. And then I've got this pretty sprig going. So I find the easiest way to do this is I add glue around my circle here. So it gets glued there. And then I'm just going to add some glue here along the perimeter. And then I'm going to drop it here, not knowing exactly where I want it because it's upside down, and then just kind of wiggle it to where I want it. Oh, that's really crooked. Let's try going a little more straight and see how that looks. Too much green at the bottom there. 1 second. This part's already trying to stick. Okay, let's do it this way. Easier to see. There. Okay. Now we've got our deer, our sprigs, but we need something in the background. So I took Bioland, just a piece of white, and I've got this, it's the new background snowflake stamp. And I'm just gonna put this in Misty here, and I'm gonna stamp this twice, the background. The which is why I have it in a repositional tool. If you have the Stamparatus, you can use that. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell anymore. The Misty can be found anywhere. So if you don't have one and you want a repositioning tool, you can find them. So first I did Pool Party, and then I wanted to add some sparkle, and this totally isn't necessary. I have, maybe like some of you, if you've been crafting for a long time, Stampin' Up! Used to have an embossing powder called Iridescent Ice. And it works just like an embossing powder. You just use Versamark and then you put the powder on and heat it up. So I'm just going to add the Versamark here to the stamp. So it'll stamp on top of where the Pool Party is. Now this is a much bigger piece than I need because it's only going to show through that circle, but that's okay. And if you really want to make sure, especially with this iridescent ice, I find, because it's kind of chunkier, it's not as fine a powder. You might want to put a bit of extra Versamark so that it sticks and really melts to it. And then I'm just going to take this off. Oh, missed a step, which whenever I'm on camera, I seem to forget. You probably want, hang on, let me grab to use the embossing buddy, especially on a large sheet, but I forgot. So I do not. Hopefully it doesn't stick everywhere, but that's okay. If I've got, it'll just look like shimmer paper. I mean, which is what kind of the shimmer paper has replaced the iridescent ice. So you don't get glitter everywhere. I kind of miss the days where I'd come up from crafting and my family would bug me that, oh, you've been crafting again. And they would always joke because I had glitter in my hair, glitter on my clothes, glitter. You just get glitter everywhere. I don't think it's such a bad thing. I need my tweezers so I don't burn my fingers. Oh, here they are. Okay, these tweezers you can get in the, it's a embossing kit, something. Embossing, additional tools or something. It comes with the tray and the powder, a brush, and the tweezers, which are very handy. Because you can have like the smallest little piece of something that you're embossing on, like say it's a small sentiment and a little piece of paper, and you can sheet emboss it without burning your fingers. It looks like I just have sparkle everywhere, which is okay. My other one was a little more precise because I had used the embossing buddy. But let's see. So I do feel like the sparkles do come off. I don't know if you can see that. I don't even know if I actually embossed anything. Yeah, I did. But I don't know if you can see the sparkle on my hands. It's very sparkly. So I'm just gonna wipe the sparkles away. And then we've got nice sparkle. Okay, so if you don't have that, you can always just emboss it with clear powder. You could use gold, you could use silver, you could use just the blue. Or you could use, I don't know, I think it would be hard to stamp on glitter paper, but you could use like the white glimmer paper and that would be just as good. I'm going to stick my Now I've buried buried my dimensionals with all the stuff. Okay, so I'm going to see where I want him. I just kind of want him right on the edge there. And so I'm going to stick a dimensional here to get him stuck. And then we'll add another one. And then maybe if I can get at the little ones, we'll put a couple little ones here. And then so my intentions is to pop this card up on top here, but onto the main card. So I've got Mossy Meadow here. And so this is a 10 by 5, because it's a 10 by 7. So it's 7 by 5, which is kind of the larger typical size for a greeting card if you're not doing the usual 5.5 by 4.25. So we've got that. And then what I want to do is I'm going to glue this down so that it is flat on my card. Like so. Okay, and yes, I am still getting glitter paper on here. I'm just gonna put these on here to hold it flat. And then we will put some dimensionals. Now, because this is a larger card, you probably want to put more dimensionals than maybe what you normally do. I'll go one here, one here. I don't know. Do you think it needs it here? Maybe. We'll go one here and one here. Okay. Then all we have to do is take off It's funny, I've been complaining that I need a door because I don't have a door to this new craft room because my kids are always being loud, and today there's nobody here, and it's, well, the dog's here, and I can hear her just kind of slightly moving in the background, but it's just so eerily quiet. I can't win. Okay, and then we've got our, oops, maybe if I want the sprigs in the background, I can kind of just pull that forward and, oops, push that back. Come on, Mr. Sprig. There we go. Okay, and then my deer is in the foreground. Isn't that super cute? And then all you have to do is add a sentiment. I'm not going to do it right now. I cut out this from the stitch shape dies, I believe is what they're called. And it just happened to fit the May All Your Days Be Full of Cheer just perfect. So this one is the one where I did the embossed side, so the side with the Stampin' Up! Logo. And then this one is where I did the debossed side, the non-Stampin' Up! Logo. So two kind of, it would help if I had the sentiment on here. And then I used these, I don't know if they're pecan pie or not. They're just kind of a nice light brown. They're from the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. I'm not sure if they're meant to be, but I kind of thought they kind of are a good in between the pink and the pecan pie. So I added those, but there you go. I think I like this one. It just stands out more. Let me know what you think. Which one? Okay, on to the next one. I'm gonna set this aside, and I'll set this aside so I can show you at the end. And let's move all of this so we have room for the next card. Let's see, let's get rid of all of this. Get rid of this. Okay, next card is similar colors because I was gonna do only one, and then I decided so the one I just showed you wasn't, I was just gonna show you the larger option, but this is what I really meant to do with things. So I have a pre-cut, it's cut down to size for my card, and this will be a regular size card. And since I am doing the same colors, I do not have to clean this in between, which is handy. And I'm going to use this top side, so I'm only going to re-ink the top part here. And oh yeah, I have pink on my sprayer. So let's just try and wipe it off. Luckily it's a light color, so I just don't want to get a whole bunch of pink in my ink pad. So then we've got, why is the, oh, I was wondering why the blinds were banging because the window's not open, but it's my pupper. She's rolling around in her bed. She's not comfortable. It's a rough life. Trying to find that perfect spot. Okay, so now my whole thing with this is I want to create a diagonal plaid, and because of the large folder, you can totally do that. Just turn your paper. I'm going to use the lines kind of as my guide. Oops, I'm off here. I don't want to be out of the, so let's use these lines then. Okay, so you notice I'm doing it on the side that's not inked up. It doesn't matter if it is inky on the background, but I don't mind. But I want this to stay still once I close it here. And then we'll get our machine and the 3D plates. Try not to move. You could, if you really are not sure about keeping your paper without moving it, you can always tape it down. I just kind of keep it closed and hold it where the paper is, and it doesn't usually move. Should be okay. And then you just want to be careful again taking it out. But so I did, I had an oops when I did my first one, and it did move a bit. Actually, it was on this deer one, and you can see it moved a bit because you have like, but it really just adds to the plaid. Like it's not, and I think maybe, like, I don't know if it moved here. It must have, but that's okay. So now when we have our paper this way, we have a diagonal plaid. So very versatile. You can use it as the square plaid or diagonal plaid. So that is a big bonus of having the larger embossing folder. So now, once again, oh, did it again, because now I'm going to get rid of this brown. One sec. sprayer holds so much ink, it's crazy. So just be forewarned rather than when you're switching ink colors, especially because now I'm going to the light ink color. I definitely don't want to be putting that into my ink pad. And of course we realized how uninky this is, which is maybe why I was having troubles getting this inked. You know, that makes more sense now. Okay, you know what? Let's try this and you guys can see what a difference an inked pad makes. Make sure you have the correct re-inker. I probably should have double checked before I started putting it on. But my only thing is, and I don't know if it's me or if I'm doing something wrong, these new re-inkers I find are very hard to squeeze out. Like the old ones, you could just like, and didn't you like my sound effects? These ones are much harder to squeeze, it seems to me. And then what I normally do, if I can find it, so I have a old IKEA plastic spoon here. And so it looks like it could use even more ink. This is crazy. It's really low on ink. And normally if I had a wipe, I would wipe it on my wipe. But let's see. Let's see if this helps us out. Oh, look at that. So much easier. I made it look so difficult to brayer on the pink, but really it was just me. Okay, now it's almost darker than I wanted it, but that's okay. And again, if you want those corners, but see, now that it's inked, it's really not as bad. So anyways, good enough. It's distressed. It's good. So now I've got my diagonal, and let's see how we're doing for time. We're not doing well for time. So if I want to get to that card that I didn't get to last week, I should probably just skip ahead. I'll show you the finished card. So this, I used the, where'd it go? More Than Autumn stamp set. This is this is the other one that I'm absolutely in love with. And a big reason, which I've told you guys before, is the dies, because, oops, that's not them. Where's the dies? It has all the words. Half of these words are missing right now. But it has like pumpkin and apple and hot and cocoa season. So, and then I wish it had the background part, but you can fussy cut around it. Latte, coffee. I love it when you can cut out words. So that's part of my falling in love with it. So I have stamped and cut out, and I'm not going to color this because it'll take a long time. But you know, you have all the pieces and parts and it all gets die cut. Let me show you all the pieces and parts. And then I just colored it with blends and put it all together. And I used the all so cute adhesive backed peppermints. These are out of stock. I think they're supposed to be back soon in September. So keep your eye out if you love them, because they went out of stock like as soon as the catalog went live, because they're so super cute. So here's the finished card. So this is all colored with blends. And then I stamped both of these and I just fussy cut around the peppermint. And then here's the little peppermints. Isn't that so cute? Okay. So that's card number 2. Then let's move on to the third card, which is the messy one. So while I have this brown on here, I'm going to do, I've got two. I'm going to emboss two different pieces. I'm going to emboss Early Espresso, and I'm going to emboss pumpkin pie. Oh yeah, because this is getting cut out. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to start with the dark brown, since I haven't washed this, because it doesn't really matter. This is darker. I'm going to use the deboss side of this. Should I spritz it? The nice thing, I mean, if you can dry your stuff, I would say spritzing for me on video isn't great because I'm not drying it in between, and then if I'm trying to ink things, but because this is so dark, I'm not going to worry about it. Let me bring back in, oopsie. Bring the machine back in. Boy, I'm getting my steps in. Okay, and then I'm going to emboss this. Ooh. Okay. Won't go far with that. So you go again. And then we've got, so this is the embossed side. This is the debossed side. I want the debossed side. Where was that? No. I'm second guessing myself now. Then I've got Early Espresso here. And exactly what I ended up doing with the last one, which is probably why I didn't do it on the last one. I'm just going to rub it, and these the darkest of lines are going to stay the lighter version of Early Espresso, and the rest is going to become darker. And you don't want to like really, you want to go light-handed. You don't want to be too heavy-handed, although it's nice to have the dark and then the lines look that much lighter. So we got that. And then we're going to cut this out. So again, actually, I'm not going to cut this out. I'm going to glue this on, and then I'm just going to cut around the perimeter. Or if you want to cut it slightly smaller, so again, I could have cut this first, ran it through, but I'm just trying to think if I have a white. I should have a chalk pen somewhere. Let's see. I have this one, but it might be a little big. It's a little big. It'll make a mess. Okay, let's do this. I'm not going to glue it down. I'm just going to hold it. And you're going to think I'm crazy. Just going to cut it like so. Because I'm going to actually cut it down a wee bit smaller so you don't see the edge of the dark brown. So I'm just kind of getting the shape. And then we're just going to trim it by like 1/8 of an inch. And by only, now I don't remember where I started. I'm pretty sure I started on this corner, so we'll just trim this down a wee bit. And it should be able to hide behind our, mostly. Okay. And then we'll glue this down. You might need a bit more glue than you normally use if you were putting it on a flat surface, because it's only going to hold, I mean, at least this is the deboss side, so there's a bit more for it to hold on to. Okay, then if you have a glass block, you can put that on top so it can seal. And then we've got this piece that we want to emboss, and I'm just gonna wipe this. If you really want to make sure it's clean, you can use alcohol spray, which I don't think I have. Oh, here. Just so that, because now I'm going to be adding some white, and so my poor white ink pad is gonna get brown. So if I wasn't on camera, I would normally wash this with water and then switch, but for the sake of time, hopefully alcohol will do. Oh my goodness. Okay, me and breathing alcohol don't go hand in hand. So I'm gonna take my Whisper White pigment ink, and rather than rubbing it on my paper, I'm going to rub it onto my front, the front. So because I'm rubbing it, it's gonna get both it's only gonna leave those thick lines. And then you do, oh, I see, I went too heavy-handed. I got some white in the lines, that's okay. And we'll just go like this, like that. So be patient and just run it over. It'll get there. Don't be in a hurry. Do as I say, not as I do. The usual. Okay. This whole paper is going to be white. The nice thing with the pigment ink is it kind of sinks into the paper over time, so it just kind of will lighten up the paper. So unfortunately, and you can do it if you tape it down and it doesn't fall out, you could do it several times, but see how it's not like totally white, but you can see how I did. If you don't like this, that's okay. You can once again take your brayer, and you could even do this with espresso if you really wanted to, or if you just want to darken it up, take your pumpkin pie. Hopefully that was clean. It might still have pink on it. And just gently go over those top lines. And as it'll lighten as it dries. But then you don't have like in your face white white lines where you didn't want. The white is where you want it, and the lines are still dark. So that's another look for your background where you still have color, but it's a lightened. So again, this is where this two-tone new cardstock that we have, you're gonna be able to do like cool things again. And the new two-tone is white in the middle. So you can actually, actually I should save it for next time when I have it, but you can sand it and then you have white popping out of the color. So lots of options for that. Ooh, sorry, I'm reaching the wrong way. So now we have our background. We have, where did I put the other one that I was gluing here? We've got our foreground. So now you've got the debossed and you've got the embossed, and you've got two different techniques going. You could even, like, I could have done this diagonal and this one square plaid. Once again, I've cut out all my pieces and I'm not going to sit here and color it, but here's the pumpkin spice words, and I'll show you that I just fussy cut them to have the shadow in the background. So I just stuck these. I have a adhesive sheet on here. I stuck them onto the white and then I just cut around it for the shadow. Isn't this cute? The little dollop of whipped cream is so super cute. If you missed it, there's two separate dies. I did not fussy cut this. So in the dies, there's a regular size, and where's the small one? This one is the small one. There isn't two different stamps for the whipped cream. The small one, you stamp a second big one, and you just cut out the tip. So you end up with two dollops of whipped cream, which is so stinking cute. I'm so excited for pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin everything. I actually was I'm gonna try and make pumpkin scones today. So yeah, that is the third. That is how I showed this one last week, but I didn't show you how to make it. So now you know how to make it. Obviously, using the blends, I used crumb cake, pecan pie, pumpkin pie blends, I believe. Yep, pumpkin pie, and that's it. And then I stamped the Nothing's Better Than in Early Espresso, and then this is pecan pie again. So again, our 3 cards for this week, although I really prefer my my new version of the deer, I think. So whichever one you like better, it just needs the sentiment, and then it'll be good. All right, hopefully you enjoy this. I will be back next week with another set of cards, techniques, fun to be had. And remember, you don't need to have this exact, like, you don't need the autumn stuff and you don't need the deer to be able to play with these techniques. You can take any embossing folder, you can take any supplies that you might have and just create, like, take the techniques and create something awesome. So hopefully this has inspired you to go play. If you do make something and you want to post it, tag me, or you can message me however you want. I love to see other people's creations and what you do with it. All right, have a great rest of your week. Bye.